What's up, guys? Alpine Gremlin again here with some more World of Tanks. And today, before we get into it, I just want to say that this video is going to be a quick match. Now, it's more of an experiment than a quick match. I want you guys to give me your feedback on the quality of the video. If it freezes in some places, what the sound levels are, the overall resolution, is it blurry, does it look good? Because based on the video I put up in the Leopard yesterday, it definitely seemed to be of lower quality. It was freezing. I had a lot of trouble rendering the thing in the first place, and like I said, you know, like I mentioned, I'm using new methods of recording because all my software got bugged out, doesn't work anymore, and I'm also using freeware. You know, it's really low quality stuff. You know, I haven't really paid for any high quality stuff that a lot of the major guys pay for. And so, you know, I knew the videos were going to be lower quality, but I'm not sure, you know, what's going on right now. So I want you guys to give me some feedback on that if possible. But, you know, that's about it that I want to say for that. So I don't want to keep you guys held up anymore. Let's get into it. So I'm in my T-54. I rebought it. I do have some T-54 gameplay up on the channel, as you guys might remember. They're really old videos, but you know, they're still around. But I rebought a T-54 because my buddy Jim, who you could see there in his E75, is grinding his first tier 10. So I wanted something a little bit more flexible than my tank destroyers to run with him. So the T-54 was a perfect candidate. I had an okay crew ready to go. I mean, this game again is more of a test with the video settings and all that, rather than, you know, some impressive gameplay. It's T-54 beating up on lower tier opponents when it's top tier. So, you know, it's really nothing too special. My situational awareness was also surprisingly lacking in this video, as you're going to see at some points. Exceptionally lacking. I also don't have Sixth Sense on this crew. I was still training up the commander and repairs at this point in preparation for Sixth Sense. So I don't know when I've been lit, and that's going to become very evident from my lack of, you know, reacting to being spotted until I get shot at. But anyway, I like to take this position here when I start from the north side, and basically from those bushes on the opposite side as well on Overlord, just to get some early cheeky shots on, you know, any light tanks or mediums that are trying to poke bushes. I generally have good crews in my mediums, so, you know, I can usually get the ambush shot off and then back down behind cover, particularly in the Leopard and the T-34 3 tanks like those, where I have really good crews. Now, you notice, you know, I've obviously been spotted here, and I probably should have known better, but that me staying out there basically just cost me 300 HP without me even firing my gun. So that was a complete waste. Awful decision, awful positioning. I should have known to back down that corner immediately, but I didn't. And I was really lucky, honestly, that I was top tier in this match, because it's really, I was a bit of a donkey in this game. And I don't know how I came away with the result that I did. But anyway, so, you know, there wasn't much activity going on over there. And Jim was telling me that, you know, hey, things might be getting a little bit hairy over here. So I figure, okay, yeah, I'm going to come over there and help you out. And that was completely spot on. You could see now we've got an IS-3, WZ-132, E75, and here's an important thing. Notice how that WZ penned me. Now, I do get a shot on him in return, but notice how he penned me, because my upper front plate was actually angled downward when I was on that hill. That lessened the effective armor thickness, you know, giving him basically a flat shot at the 120 millimeters of armor, and he penetrated me, and I took an additional 200 HP. Again, I do get it. I do take a shot at him in return, but it doesn't really matter, because I took unnecessary damage. Anyway, so I'm going down there. You know, Jim is holding. He's got some support with him, but I'm gonna come help him. You know, basically roll this flank. He's over there side scraping like a boss. But you know, so I'm gonna get a shot off on this IS-3. Gonna aim for the lower front plate. I got more than enough penetration with standard rounds to go through him. Now I'm going for the kill shot on him, but I don't quite get it. I roll low, and the IS-3 is left on 23 health. Luckily, the Leopard PTA finishes him off, and I'm able to put a shot into the KB3. I bounce his return shot with my good angled frontal armor, but notice here as I'm going for the kill shot on the KV, I'm not paying attention to this IS's position, right? I think he's further behind the rock than he actually is. It turns out all he's doing is taking just enough cover to be covered from Jim, but he's going to be able to fire at me, and I'm not paying attention to that. That was very good play on his part, very poor play on my part. So I go around to finish off the KV-3, but I end up taking a shot in the side by the IS, and I take this WZ comes for a quick peek over the hill, get a critical hit him for 350. Jim finishes off the IS. So now, this E-75 right here is pretty much alone. And so now I'm figuring, alright, well now's the perfect time to get some ambush shots off. Now I am kind of putting myself at risk here of being shot by their JT-88, who's most likely in the base, but I gotta get around the C-75. You know, gotta get shots into his rear armor, because I see Jim going over to engage him. That IS-3 is in some serious trouble, and now the E-50 has actually joined the fight. Luckily, I got my PTA friend here right behind me. Jim's coming up the hill to engage as well. I'm going to keep putting shots into this E-75's rear armor. Jim puts a shot into the E-50. I land a nice hit into the E-75's fuel tanks for a quick fire. I get a couple additional, 100 HP worth out of that fire. Take a shot, awful shot at the Bulldog, and end up bouncing. Luckily, these guys didn't really need my help mopping up those two anyway. I do take a snapshot at the Bulldog. Luckily, it goes through his frontal armor, well, his turret armor. And so now I'm going basically to chase this guy. And you're going to see I got a shot. I'm looking for the shot here. But did you notice, right as I'm taking that shot, the more eagle-eyed members of you, and by that I mean the ones that actually look at the minimap, you might notice right here I've got a spare Panzer 1C right on my left flank. And he has a perfect position. He's fully loaded, ready to fucking tear me apart. I'm not paying attention, and that's going to cost me. Slams me for 211 HP. Luckily, I get my frontal armor in just in time. Jim puts a shot into him, who's on Overwatch. I put a shot into him, and I make another stupid decision. I decide to crest this ridge to go after him. He ends up putting one into my lower front plate, now leaving me on 177 HP. Now luckily here I am paying attention to my mini-map, and I notice right at this moment there's a Mutz coming down to engage me. That Mutz is nearly on full health. Luckily I'm able to swing my frontal armor around just in time. I put a shot into him on the move. I bounce his return fire. I'm wiggling side to side to make it harder for him to hit my weak points, and this is where the T-54 just completely excels. I come off better in the ram, only taking 91 HP damage. Now I'm only I only got 86 health now, but now the T-54 is in its environment. Close range brawling against a weaker opponent. This is where the T-54 really likes to be. And all he really has to shoot at is my strong turret armor, and I take him down from nearly full health while one shot myself. That was probably the first, good play I've made all game, but anyway. So I'm on comms with Jim, and, that T-32's on full health, but he is a tier lower, and, Jim's pretty confident that he can handle him. So rather than rush all the way down there, to maybe scrape up a few hit points of damage, I decided to go after the Bulldog and the JT-88. Now the Bulldog is doubling back all the way around. It's not really worth chasing him right now. I do spot that JT-88. Now remember, I don't know if I've been spotted, but it's very possible. So I don't want to make anything. I don't want to take any risks. I'm going to go along I'm going to instead take the long way around. We're going to be able to get flank shots on this guy. So I'm coming around, come up over this rise, and I do spot the JT-88. Now again, I don't know if I've been lit myself, but a good indication as to where, this is a good tip when you're not playing with Sixth Sense. A good indicator of whether or not you've been spotted is to pay attention to whether or not the enemies actually aim at you. A lot of times it's evident, if you're right in front of the guy, even though he's not looking right at you, it's pretty obvious you've been spotted. If you're within 50 meters, you've probably been spotted. However, in this kind of situation where it's not always clear, it is, however, possible to, discern whether you've been lit by the behavior of the enemy. Now, you can see how he's moving there. See how he's backing up to get his front armor to me and turning? That indicates I've been lit. And if I hadn't been lit up to that point, which is unlikely, I've definitely been lit now because I put a shot into his side. So this is where I'm going to employ similar tactics against that Mutz, but at longer range. See how I've put myself right between that nice berm and him? My lower hull is completely covered by that berm now. Only my turret is exposed to this JT-88. So he's going to be able to do nothing to me, and I'm going to be able to penetrate his lower glacis with impunity. Bounce a shot off my turret. Getting ready to reload, but the Leopard PTA snags the kill before I'm able to secure it. Now, basically, you know, there's only the Bulldog left. Now, the Bulldog has just been lit in the base. He's going to kill the Arty. He's all the way over there. Now, he could start capping, but that's not likely. He knows, you know, the whole team knows where he is. You can see the T-30 is going back to finish him. The Leopard PTA is going back to finish him. Now, I have no interest on my low health of chasing a Bulldog around the map with 86 HP. So I opt to just get on the cap instead, and Jim decides to join me just in case he decides to get on the cap, even though it's unlikely, just to get that little bit of insurance for the win. Now the Bulldog gets spotted again, and he's basically going to spend the rest of the game running away and hiding. So Jim goes ahead and hops on the cap as well, and this is just going to be a nice leisurely end to the game as we sit out and admire the view of war-torn Normandy. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip to the end because it's pretty obvious that we're going to win. So yeah, we capped to 100%, and that's it. That's the victory. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at that after-action report. Alright, so here's that after-action report. So you could see that despite some abysmal decision-making and situational awareness, we still managed to come out top of our team with experienced earn with 1,322. We also we fired 21 shots, 19 of those hits, and 18 of those were penetrations. That allowed us to put out a total of 5,484 damage, which is, I think, pretty good for a tier 9 medium. We managed to block 1,500 armor, 1,500 damage with our armor, which was lucky because we were on perilously low health for a lot of that game. And so that also contributed to netting us the Spartan and the high caliber medals. And you could see we ended up securing 3 kills, and we did a good amount. We didn't do much assistance damage that round. But we did cap the base, 62 base capture points with 3.39 kilometers traveled. So not a bad result at all. And you could see that Jim also put in some damn good work in his E75, 4,452 damage. So, you know, well, overall, good platoon effort and definitely a carry. Now, obviously, it's something that I kind of would expect from a Tier 9 platoon in a Tier 9 game. Again, this wasn't meant to show any amazing gameplay. It was more of a test, but it was a good, fun game, and I think you guys, it's a good excuse for me to share it. So, anyway, like I said at the beginning, just please give me some feedback on how the video looks, how it, you know, with how the timing is, because like I said, you know, I'm using, you know, freeware and all that, like I've always been, but it's just different. I'm using the Plays TV client. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. I mean, it's working. It seems to be kind of working, but I wasn't too pleased with the last video I put out. So please let me know how it looks on your end, because it might look good on my end, but it might look awful on your end. So please let me know. And so anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.